Since the 1950s, the American government, the government in control of the largest economy in the world, has placed sanctions on a country with 1/150th of its GDP. And yet, they're still there.
Following breaking news right now out of North Korea, the country has carried out another missile test.
North Korea releasing pictures of Kim Jong-un inspecting what it claims is a hydrogen bomb.
So what happened in North Korea? Why have sanctions failed so badly?
Sanctions obviously have not worked. You'd almost have to say that they were designed to fail because they have been so ineffective.
And they've been so ineffective for a number of reasons. The first is the extreme and complete control that the Kim family wields over its people. So as a comparison, take Iran. It's widely accepted that the economic sanctions placed by America and other countries crippled the Iranian economy, and they were a major reason why Iran agreed to limit its nuclear program. The Iranian government didn't wield close to the amount of power over its people that North Korea does.
They still have elections, and also they still pay attention to what the general public thinks.
The total and brutal nature of North Korea's control over the media, over its citizens, it protects the regime from the consequences that sanctions have on its people. Another reason the sanctions haven't worked. Kim Jong-un has managed to protect the North Korean elite from them.
We are basically talking about the control of a small coalition of high-ranking military officials, Korean Workers' Party leaders, and top bureaucrats. Some studies estimate we are talking about somewhere between 3,000 to 5,000 people.
By doling out money and power to that small group, Kim has kept them loyal. In some ways, sanctions have even helped him do that. The poorer and more insulated North Korea is, the more its leadership depends on Kim for things like food and housing and luxury goods. So what would effective sanctions look like? One word could be key: exports. There's a common misconception that existing sanctions have already shut off North Korea's economy from the rest of the world. Not so. They still export billions of dollars worth of goods. That's coal and clothing and even food being exported out of North Korea. And bear in mind, this is a massively impoverished country with food shortages. Those goods are being traded for cash that ends up in the hands of the Kim regime.
With North Korea, the regime does not use export earnings for the welfare of the people. So the welfare of the people, I think, should be considered irrelevant to the sanctions issue. And so we should be trying to essentially shut down North Korean trade.
The money that North Korea gets from its exports helps the Kim regime in a number of ways.
Those revenues are used for two purposes, both of which are essential for regime maintenance. One of them is the development of missiles and nukes, and the other is to keep regime elements loyal to Kim Jong-un.
Cutting that export money could drastically hurt Kim Jong-un's ability to control North Korea. The problem is that the vast majority, 75% of North Korea's exports are to China. For those sanctions to have any effect, the world needs China on board. How that happens is another question.